In a small village called Udo, there lived a girl named Ola. Ola was different from other girls. Every time she told the truth, her lips grew a little bigger. At first it was funny. Her friends would laugh and ask her to tell more truths just to see her lips grow. But as Ola got older, her lips became very big. People in the village started to avoid her. Ola's mother, Amara, was worried. She wanted Ola to find a husband, but no man in the village wanted to marry a girl with such big lips. Amara tried everything to make Ola's lips smaller. She made Ola eat special herbs and rub oils on her lips, but nothing worked. One day, Ola's younger brother, Kobe, got very sick. The village healer couldn't make him better. Ola knew she had to do something to help her brother. She remembered an old story about a magic flower that could cure any sickness. The flower grew on top of a faraway mountain. Ola decided to go find the flower to save her brother. She packed some food and water and set off early one morning. As she walked through the village, she heard people whispering and laughing at her big lips. But Ola didn't care. She was on a mission to save Kobe. The journey was long and hard. Ola walked for many days. She crossed rivers and climbed hills. Sometimes she was scared, but she kept going. She thought about Kobe and how much she wanted to help him. After many days, Ola finally reached the mountain. It was very tall and steep. She started to climb, even though her legs were tired. The higher she climbed, the colder it got. Ola shivered but didn't stop. Near the top of the mountain, Ola saw something shiny. It was the magic flower. She was so happy. But then she heard a deep, scary voice. "Who dares to come to my mountain?" the voice boomed. Ola was scared, but she stood up tall. "I am Ola from Udo village," she said. "I've come to get the magic flower to save my sick brother." Out of the shadows came a big, scary monster. It had sharp teeth and glowing eyes. "Many have tried to take my flower," the monster growled. "None have succeeded. To get the flower, you must pass a test." Ola's heart beat fast, but she nodded. "I will take your test," she said bravely. The monster smiled a scary smile. "My test is simple," it said. "You must tell me 3 truths. If your lips grow bigger with each truth, you can have the flower. But if you lie, I will eat you up." Ola took a deep breath. She knew this was her chance to save Kobe. She looked the monster in the eye and began to speak. "My first truth is, I love my brother Kobe more than anyone in the world," Ola said. Her lips grew a little bigger. The monster nodded. "Go on," it said. "My second truth is, I am scared of you, but I am brave enough to face my fear," Ola said. Her lips grew even bigger. The monster leaned in close. "One more truth," it growled. Ola thought hard. She wanted to say something that would really show the monster how honest she was. Finally, she spoke. "My final truth is, even though my big lips make people laugh at me and no one wants to marry me, I'm proud of who I am because my lips show that I always tell the truth." As Ola finished speaking, her lips grew so big they almost covered her whole face. The monster stared at her for a long time. Then, to Ola's surprise, it started to laugh. "You have passed the test, Ola from Udo village," the monster said. "You are the most honest person I have ever met. Take the magic flower and go heal your brother." Ola couldn't believe it. She had done it. She carefully picked the magic flower and thanked the monster. Then she started her long journey back home. When Ola finally reached Udo village, everyone was surprised to see her. Her lips were bigger than ever, but she held the magic flower high. She ran to Kobe and gave him the flower to eat. To everyone's amazement, Kobe got better right away. He jumped out of bed laughing and hugging Ola. The whole village cheered. From that day on, no one in Udo village made fun of Ola's big lips. They knew her lips were a sign of her bravery and honesty. Many young men even started to think her lips were beautiful. But the biggest surprise came a few days later. Ola woke up one morning and looked in the mirror. Her lips had shrunk back to normal size. She ran to tell her mother. "Ola," Amara said with tears in her eyes, "your lips were big to teach you and the village a lesson. Now that everyone knows the value of honesty, you don't need big lips anymore." Ola was happy, but she knew that even if her lips grew big again, she would always tell the truth. She'd learned that being honest was more important than what others thought of her looks. As the days passed, life in Udo village changed. People started telling the truth more often. They remembered Ola's bravery and how her honesty had saved Kobe. The village became a happier place. But not everyone was happy with the changes. The village chief, a man named Dio, didn't like that people were being so honest. Dio had many secrets, and he was afraid that if everyone started telling the truth, his secrets would come out. One day, Dio called a meeting in the village square. He stood up in front of everyone and said, "From now on, anyone caught telling a big truth will be sent away from the village forever." The people of Udo were shocked. They looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Ola felt scared. She knew that telling the truth was right, but she didn't want to leave her home and family. That night, Ola couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, thinking about what Dio had said. She knew there was something wrong, but she didn't know what to do. The next morning, Ola decided to talk to her friend Zuri. Zuri was the smartest girl in the village. When Ola told Zuri about her worries, Zuri looked thoughtful. "Ola," Zuri said, "I think Dio is hiding something big. We need to find out what it is." Ola nodded. She knew Zuri was right, but she was also scared. What if they got caught? What if Dio sent them away from the village? Zuri saw the worry on Ola's face. "Don't worry," she said. "We'll be careful. And remember, your honesty saved your brother. Maybe it can save the whole village too." Ola felt braver hearing Zuri's words. Together they made a plan. They would watch Dio closely and try to find out what he was hiding. For the next few days, Ola and Zuri followed Dio whenever they could. They watched him talk to strangers who came to the village at night. They saw him counting lots of money when he thought no one was looking. One evening, as the sun was setting, Ola and Zuri saw Dio sneaking out of the village. They decided to follow him. They walked quietly through the forest, being careful not to step on any twigs that might make a noise. After walking for a long time, they came to a clearing. In the clearing was a big, shiny machine. Ola and Zuri had never seen anything like it before. They watched as Dio talked to some men near the machine. The men gave Dio bags full of money. Suddenly, Ola understood. The machine was digging something valuable out of the ground. Dio was selling it and keeping all the money for himself instead of sharing it with the village. Ola felt her lips start to tingle. She knew a big truth was coming, and she was scared her lips would grow big again. But she remembered how her honesty had saved Kobe, and she knew what she had to do. Ola stepped out of the bushes. "Stop!" she shouted. Everyone in the clearing turned to look at her. Ola took a deep breath and told the truth. "Chief Dio is stealing from our village," she said. "He's taking something valuable from our land and keeping the money for himself." As Ola spoke, she felt her lips growing bigger and bigger. But this time she wasn't ashamed. She stood tall and proud, knowing she was doing the right thing. The men in the clearing started to run away. Dio looked angry and scared. He tried to run too, but Zuri was smart. She had brought some rope and she quickly tied Dio up. Ola and Zuri took Dio back to the village. They called everyone to the village square and told them what they had seen. At first, people didn't believe them. But when they saw how big Ola's lips had grown, they knew she was telling the truth. The village elders decided to send Dio away. They chose a new chief, a kind and honest woman named Adana. Adana promised to use the valuable things in the land to make life better for everyone in the village. As for Ola, her lips slowly went back to normal size. But this time, she wasn't worried about them growing big again. She knew that telling the truth was always the right thing to do, no matter what happened to her lips. From that day on, Udo Village became known as the most honest place in all the land. People came from far and wide to trade with them, because they knew they could trust the people of Udo. Ola grew up to be a wise woman. She became a teacher, helping children understand the importance of honesty. And yes, she did find love. A kind man named Chidi saw the beauty in Ola's heart and asked her to marry him. On their wedding day, Ola and Chidi made a special promise. They vowed to always tell each other the truth, no matter what. As they said these words, Ola felt her lips tingle just a little, but instead of growing, they curved into a big, happy smile. The whole village celebrated Ola and Chidi's wedding. There was music, dancing, and lots of delicious food. But the best part was when Ola and Chidi told the story of how honesty had changed their village. As they spoke, everyone listened closely, remembering the lessons they had learned.